Hi, I'm making a condition every 8th day to share with you that the Lord of the Second Coming already came, to consider some new ideas that you might not have thought about, also centering upon the words of Jesus himself in Matthew 11:13. Here it is. For all the law and the prophets prophesied until John, and, if you can accept it, he is the Elijah who was to come. So two parts of this. The first is that all the law and the prophets prophesied until John. This means that all the Old Testament prophecies are all referring to Jesus. For example, Daniel 7:13 and 14 refers to Jesus, not to a Lord of the Second Coming. Here is this Bible verse. In my vision at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign powers. All peoples, nations, and men of every language worshipped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. So does this sound like Jesus? Well, it is, because Jesus said so. In light of this, do you still think that the Lord of the Second Advent is going to come on the clouds? When it states very clearly here that Jesus came on the clouds, even though we know that Jesus was born on earth and also born in a stable. So I have to consider this point. And the second part is John the Baptist was Elijah from Jesus' own words. This in effect means that John the Baptist was the second coming of Elijah from the point of view of that prophecy in Malachi 4:5. Before the great and terrible day of the Lord comes, I will send the prophet Elijah. So the chosen people didn't know when the Messiah was coming, but they knew Elijah would come first. But John the Baptist denied that he was the Elijah. John the Baptist was supposed to make straight the way of the Lord. And yet he became a major stumbling block, one of the main reasons why Jesus had to go the way of the cross. Okay, and also why Jesus had to come again, because what Jesus came to fulfill was the kingdom of heaven on earth. Not some spiritual rebirth, but complete rebirth, changing the lineage. And also Jesus implied, because he wasn't accepted as a Messiah, he also implied and gave warnings that it would not be easy to accept the Lord of the Second Advent. Here's the scariest one is from Matthew 7:21-23. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons and perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. That's kind of truly scary, right? That even those who are able to prophesy in his name and drive out demons in his name, that Jesus will say, I never knew you. But this is a warning from Jesus to you, the Christians, second chosen people, not to make the same humongous mistake that the first chosen people made in not recognizing the Lord, who is Jesus. And actually, the nation of Israel still does not recognize officially Jesus as the Messiah. So my point is that if you're a churched Christian, you're probably going to be one of the last to know about the Lord of the Second Advent. Jesus spoke about wine, fresh wine going into fresh wineskins. You know, if you are a church Christian, then you're in the description that fits with old wineskin. It cannot take new wine, or you've got to be like really, really careful when you take this new wine, this new truth. The Lord of the Second Advent comes with new truth. And also Jesus, basically in saying these things, all the law and the prophets prophesied until John. Therefore, Daniel 7:13-14 is referring to Jesus, not Lord of the Second Advent. Then you should not expect the Lord of the Second Advent to come on the clouds, but to come in the same way that Jesus did, born as a person on the earth. Please check this out, because Jesus spoke figuratively. He lamented in John 16:25, I said to you figuratively, time is coming when I will speak plainly. that Christianity needs to raise up to the level of the Lord of the Second Advent, who will speak plainly of the Father and deal with many anomalies and, critical points of understanding in the Christian doctrine regarding God, why he could not stop the fall of man. Also the portion of human responsibility, all of these things. So please check this out, it's really important. Hope you'll check in your Bible, Matthew 11:13, and the implications from this incredibly important thing that Jesus shared with us. Thank you.